Hey everybody, it's me, Ghost Critic, on this momentous of occasions. And if you are unaware of what today's date is, this is the date 2 years ago that I actually started here on YouTube doing these crazy videos. 2 years later, still here and still having fun. But this is a review show. Over the weekend I'll do a kind of an update, what's been going on over the last year, what I've got, some plans for the future, but that'll be in a video at the weekend, I promise. But this week, comics have come out again. I've got a stack, I need to review them, and this is what you're here for. I thought I'd do it a bit differently in the sense that, you know, I have a certain way of reading my comics. Usually it's the ones I can't wait to read, the ones that I know are going to be really good, or the ones I'm anticipating the most, and the ones I'm not so much get put to the bottom. And so this is how I read my comics this week. Of course, I had to start with Batman #8, and the Court of Owls, Night of the Owls, has well and truly begun. Yes, the owls are invading Wayne Manor, and there's only Bruce and Alfred to fend them off. There are literally hundreds of them. They're scattered everywhere. They've surrounded Bruce's manor, and Bruce and Alfred have had to run down to the Bat Cave to kind of fend them off. It's well and truly action-packed, and we now find in this issue what the plan of action is for the owls, and that is basically to kill all the head figures of Gotham, those people who shape the lives of everyone who lives there, who's built Gotham, you know, to what it is now, to the people who are in charge of the police who patrol the streets. They are going for the big guys and women. It was great. Capullo's art, as usual, is fantastic. He is really showing off. You know, Bruce is still suffering from his last meeting with the owls in the whole labyrinth maze, and he still has this completely deranged look on his face, and Capullo just draws it so well. I love his artwork. There's a backup story in here which truly isn't a backup story. It's more a continuation of what we've just read, but it's no less as good as the first one. This is called The Call, and it is basically Alfred getting the Bat family together and saying, look, come on guys, we've got to sort this out. So you get this gorgeous panel of, you know, Robin, Red Robin, Damian, Batgirl. Who else was on there? Because it was brought to my attention by a certain Mr. James Donnelly, that Batwoman doesn't look like she's going to get involved in this Court of Owls. So yeah, so we've got Red Robin, we've got Jason Todd, Damian, we've got Nightwing, we've got Batgirl, and we've got the Birds of Prey. Very strange, but it's a nice 2-page splash panel. Let's see if I can just show you that. Hope you can see all that very well, because I can't see the screen anymore. But yes, so it's a great start. The owls are certainly hit hard and fast. I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm not picking up anything that I wouldn't normally pick up, so you won't see me reviewing Nightwing or Batwing or Batgirl or something like that. It'll just be the titles I already get, but they are, apart from Batwoman, seem to be well entrenched in this Night of the Owls. Pick it up, come on now. My second most anticipated read for this month was The Incredible Hulk issue 7. Is Banner dead? Well, it looks like it, but you know what? I don't think he is. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but certainly the last panel lends itself to, I don't know, I think I was right in what I said was going to happen. I think it's happened. I'm not going to spoil it in case you haven't read this or you didn't hear what my hypothesis of how this story was going to go, but I do think it has gone that way. What do we have in here? Hulk goes back to Doom because he thinks Doom's behind all this, you know. What did he actually do to Banner to make him go crazy? Of course, it's just Banner being Banner without the Hulk. There's a lot of kind of like pop psychology going on in here that, you know, Banner used Hulk when they were together for an outlet for his rage about his life, because yes, he is basically puny Banner. He's that kind of cowardly guy who shies away from his more animalistic emotions, and so to have that vent he has the Hulk, but being separated, what's going to happen to him? He's just going to go insane. He's just going to go insane. Amanda Von Doom, her character, is just becoming a little bit more fun. Especially the end, she seems to now have got quite a taste for our green mutants, the animals that Banner tried to Hulkify. I'm not going to say much more on that, but it was an amusing little bit. Definitely a good book. I love what Jason Aaron's doing this, and while there does seem to be an inordinate amount of artists on this title, I still loved it. It didn't look too cluttered, didn't look too obtrusive in there were different styles in there. It nicely seamed throughout, so yes, definitely a pickup. Despite its tie-in to Avengers vs X-Men, which please I don't want to get into, I'm not going to pick it up, I don't want to pick it up, I have no interest in it whatsoever, and if any of you think anything is going to happen to change our Marvel Universe out of this event, you're a bigger fool than I thought you were. It's Wolverine and the X-Men, and yes, it is an A versus X tie-in. This is the conversation Captain America had with Wolverine to find out basically which side is he going to take. And a side he takes. Yes, he does. Which side did he take? Well, I'm not going to tell you that, though you probably already know if it's been said in Avengers vs X-Men already. But I think he's done it for the right reasons. Not because he is a member of that team, but because of the school. And he thinks basically what's best for the school is what the team he has gone on to want to do. It's very difficult doing reviews when I get told off and have my hand slapped for spoiling things, so I'm trying to be very careful. Of course, whenever you have the Phoenix Force in play, the Shia Empire is never far behind, so they certainly make an appearance. Quentin and Rachel both get knocked out by some sort of psionic blast, and they get a vision of the Phoenix Force both together, and they just say it's coming. Oh, my favourite artist, Chris Bachalo, is back on artwork, and it's great. It's so much fun. He really has a style of his own, and I love it. It's just so bold, so colourful, so vivid. I just love it. It's great. Pick it up. Fables 116. And, you know, like I say, I'm reading this in, and what my anticipation of it is, what I'm most excited to read and can't wait to read. And maybe this should have gone maybe a couple of steps down, but that doesn't make it a bad comic. We've got kind of two storyline threads going through the story. Darian, one of the kids of this storyline, the Babes in Toyland storyline, he's going off with the tiger to go and rescue his sister Teresa, who is currently in the other half of the story being made queen of Discardia. There's the queen of Toyland, where all these toys that are broken down or have bits falling off them or in disrepair, and there's a big coronation ceremony for her. So yeah, it's still a nice, fun, magically fairy tale type of story, but with kind of an adult edge to it, which I just have enjoyed from the very beginning. And certainly I hear a lot more people jumping on now, getting the trades from way back when, and realising what a great story Fables is. So if you're not yet picking this up, certainly go back and look at the trades. As always, Buckingham, his artwork is just so imaginative. I still love, I mean, it's always been like this, but the use of the borders around the panels, it just suits the book to the ground, and I love this. I'm going to review two together because they are kind of connected, and one of them was from last week, which I wasn't going to pick up, but then I just thought, oh, what the hell, let's make sure we get the set, and that is Avenging Spider-Man and The Punisher. Avenging Spider-Man number 6 and The Punisher number 10, and of course this is the Omega Effects storyline. And it's good. Oh, I love this. Avenging Spider-Man sets it all up. The plan is, if you didn't already know, the hard drive disk with all the information about all the criminal elements like Hydra and AIM and Black Spectre, etc. Daredevil, Matt wants to destroy it in front of all these gangs to make sure they know that it is destroyed, there's nothing worth fighting for now, and that he is relatively safe, because as long as he has the disc, he's always going to be a target for these gangs. So who does he look to help him out in this? Well, the Punisher and Spider-Man turn up, and whenever these three, in whatever combination you get them, you always know you're in for a great story. The dynamics between these characters are just fantastic. Spider-Man and his friendship with Matt is just lovely. Daredevil and Punisher's kind of caustic relationship and their methods of what is essentially getting the same job done, but obviously they're at polar opposites, and so the antagonism between them is there. And of course Punisher and Spider-Man are just a hilarious coupling. Spider-Man is just this bug under Punisher's shoe, and Spider-Man just loves to make fun of Punisher. And so yes, the Avenging Spider-Man was a great setup to this storyline, and certainly laid seeds that, you know, neither of Spider-Man or Daredevil trust Punisher, and you know, why should they? Punisher would very much welcome getting this hard drive. So the story again continued in Punisher issue 10, and what was really great about this title more than anything was the characterisation that we're getting now from Cole. This is Punisher's new kind of, I guess, partner, sidekick. She has dressed up like, well, as Spider-Man says, what do we call her? Punisherini, Punisherette, who knows? But it is very interesting where she is going with this, why she's with the Punisher, her reasoning. And Daredevil is certainly trying to put her on a more clearer, more safer path than if she took the advice or followed in the path of the Punisher, our Frank Castle. So that building of her as a fully fledged character was very, very nice to see. In this issue, the gang get all these, you know, the underworld gangs together in Grand Central Station of all places, to have this kind of destroying of the hard drive. But of course, somebody's got something up their sleeve. Obviously, somebody wants this hard disk bad. Are they going to get it? Are they going to keep it? We'll only find out when we get Daredevil, which I hope is very, very soon to finish this off. a great, nice little mini crossover from Marvel. I like it when they do these, and I'm glad I picked up Avenging Spider-Man. So, definitely worth a look-see. Justice League number 8, and yes, as you can see from the cover, we have Green Arrow. Not part of the team, but desperately trying to. At turns, this is quite a humorous issue. There's certainly a lot of silly banter between Green Arrow and Green Lantern. We get some ideas that, you know, Aquaman doesn't like Green Arrow for some reason. The idea that Green Arrow is really a plant from the government so they can keep tabs on the JLA because they have been such a close-knit supergroup is certainly hit home in this storyline. There has only been one other person that the JLA have decided to take into their ranks, and that was Martian Manhunter. But apparently that didn't go too well, as if you read this comic you will find out why. It's a much better read than it was last week, and that probably is a lot down to the artwork. The artwork is much nicer now from Deanda and Reese doing artwork on this title, and it was basically just down to Steve Trevor, got his name right this time, Steve Trevor, to just turn around to Green Arrow and say, look man, they're not going to take you in as a group. It doesn't matter how many times you try and help them out, but I have a team you may be interested in. Ooh. So interesting little sideline there. There's a nice little touch in there, given that it has started the Court of Owls storyline. We see a little brief segment of the Talon and Justice League actually getting involved in putting a few of them down. So all in all, a great action-packed issue, a lot of fun, very entertaining. I've really not got much to say bad about it. Of course, we've got Shazam, the backup story here. To be honest, my thoughts on a backup story is whatever company's doing it, you have no faith in putting this story out on its own, which is why it's tagged on in the end. I didn't really have much to say about it. It's just the kid, see I can't even remember his name and I really should because it's a big character, but basically he's going to the house of the couple that have decided to take him in and adopt him, and he gets to meet all his brothers and sisters. It was quite an insipid piece of writing. I didn't really like it. I'd rather them just get rid of it, put it back to $2.99. Well, it was never $2.99, but drop the price to $2.99, and jobs are good and I'll be a happy man. This probably would have gone up higher. Amazing Spider-Man issue 684, and this is so much better. And you know why? Ramos! Yes, our man Ramos is back on artwork, and I am not having a go at who was last on it. Was it Camuncoli? Whoever it was, I'm not knocking their artwork. It's very good, but Ramos is just full of energy. It's full of life. It's full of comic greatness. I'm sorry, I think he's a perfect fit for Spider-Man, and I certainly got drawn more into this kind of above average event story. It is Spider-Man with Silver Sable and Black Widow against Sandman. Basically Spidey is getting rid of the Sinister Six one by one. He's already got rid of Electro. Is Sandman in the bag? Well, you have to read it to find out, but I much more enjoyed this, and I'm sorry to say it was because of the art. Finally, and not because it was a bad comic at all, it's just that given what's come before it, a little trepidation, I thought I'd leave it till last. It was, of course, Uncanny XForce issue 24. Basically a done-in-one story. It's Iceman and Nightcrawler, but it's of the Age of Apocalypse versions of them, and it's a fight to the death. But who dies? Who's the baddie? Who's the goodie? Also in this issue, it's the funeral of Jamie. He died after being killed by Psylocke in the last issue to save the other world. And we find out, if you'd read the last arc, Psylocke made a deal with a kind of ogre in this wood in attempt to save Phantom X's life. We find out what that deal was, and it's interesting. It certainly puts more, what's the word I'm thinking of? She certainly fits this team and the way it works now. Read it, it'll probably make more sense what I've just said. The artwork, a lot better. We've now got, who was it on here? Noto and White on artwork. Very reminiscent of earlier work. Ticini is no longer on here, and I think we'll all be happy about that. So yes, as the light dims, it's very cloudy and rainy here over in the UK at the moment. I shall bid you all adieu. Again, as usual, if this is your first time here and you liked what you saw, subscribe, thumb up, and leave a comment down below. I'll try and answer as many as I can. Look out for a video this weekend, stuff that is happening in the future. Take care. Bye-bye.